How do you actually start a preschool? And I'm going to also be answering all of your other top questions as well. So, yesterday I did a Facebook Live. We were doing a huge push for our upcoming, well, actually, our brand new podcast that just launched, right? And I'm super pumped because I said, hey, everybody, tell me your biggest questions and I'm going to answer them today on this live. So, here I am answering your biggest questions. And in fact, as I answer them, I'm actually going to tag the people as I answer the actual question. That's going to be super helpful for them to be able to say, like, oh, this is the exact moment when Joy answered my question. All right, so let me pull it up here. Perfect. So the first question comes from Melissa Snipes, and she asks, so Joy, how do I actually start with nothing? Now, the cool thing is, Melissa, guess what? I've already answered this question here. Good morning, Miss Quinn. Good to see you. I got to figure out this arm here. I think that'll work. Okay, if I'm going to be typing and talking at the same time, it's a little bit tricky. Maybe I'll go higher. That's probably easier. I'll go higher. Perfect. Okay, cool. So, Melissa Snipes, I actually answered I'll say I answered your question here. Perfect. Okay, there we go. I'll start copying and pasting that. Okay, so Melissa, I actually answered your question in a previous live, I think about 2 or 3 days ago. So what I'm going to ask you to do is go to youtube.com/start a preschool. youtube.com/start a preschool and go watch my videos on there because I created a video just a couple days ago about how to start a preschool with zero money. Okay. I want you to go watch that video because it's going to answer the question. Okay, Michelle Ruff. Let me tag you here. Here we go. Michelle Ruff. She asks, I don't live in the area for the target audience in your book. How should I move forward with my preschool? So here's what I'm going to say this to everybody. Sometimes you read my book, which of course, as you know, is freepreschoolbook.com, right? So go get my book at freepreschoolbook.com. It's going to walk you through every step to start your preschool. However, sometimes as people go through it, I'm like, okay, go put flyers in all of the, subdivisions that young families live in. And people are like, but I don't live in a place with a lot of subdivisions with young families. Okay, I get that. However, don't you have that within a 20-minute radius of you? Like, isn't there a 20-minute radius of subdivisions with young families? Now, most people do. Okay, most people do. And in fact, there's only a few situations. In fact, I lived in one of them recently where I would say I agree that is not in the cards. So, for instance, I used to live in a place called Hope, Idaho, which was a little tiny city, about 80 people, 30 minutes from the Canada border. And yeah, in that situation, we didn't have 20 minutes in radius of any subdivisions because we lived in the mountains for like 30 minutes all around us. However, I wouldn't let that stop me. I'm not going to let that stop you. Number one, go find a different place 20 minutes in your radius of subdivisions that match the criteria. But number two, if for some reason you live in a tiny remote town with 80 people, then I'm going to give you this suggestion. Create an online preschool. And in fact, I talked earlier on all of my other videos about how to create an online preschool. So go again, listen over at youtube.com/start a preschool for how to start an online preschool. Or of course, it's in my book as well. But an online preschool is probably your best bet if you live in a little tiny town with 80 people and for 30-mile radius, there's nothing around you. But other than that, preschools work pretty much everywhere. So if for any reason you're just feeling it's not in the cards to have a local preschool, that's fine. You can go to a different area. You can try. I mean, people what do they call? I don't do it. So when you drive for work, what is it, Ethan? No, not carpool. That's what I was starting to say. It's not carpool. It's when yeah. The thing that people do to get to their jobs, they have to like drive. Anybody got me there? Anybody know what word I'm trying to say here? I literally can't think of it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Other people commute. That's the word, is commute. Thank you. And Quinn just literally posted it. So when other people commute, they do that for their job all the time. You can commute too. Like, you can go to a different area. If there's a town 30 minutes away and that has like the prime time, people in it for your preschool market, well, then why don't you go drive 30 minutes to go create a preschool over there? There's no reason you can't. I mean, it really comes down to like, how willing are you to have this result, right? Obviously, if you are like, nope, I'm staying at home, I don't want to leave my home, cool, then start an online preschool. If you're like, but I want local joy, awesome, then go drive to the neighboring town 30 minutes away. I could have done that in Hope, Idaho. There's a town 30 minutes away. I could have done that, driven 30 minutes away as a typical commuter would, and then started a local preschool in a church, started a local preschool at a park, started a local preschool outdoors, started a local preschool at a friend's house, start a local preschool at a business space. There's so many different opportunities and ways to solve this. You just got to get outside the box. Okay, cool. Next question. Yum Yee, what's up? I love Yum Yee. She's got the energy of a fireball. So Yum Yee, you're amazing. Okay, Yum Yee says, how do I get kids in my school? I need signups ASAP. Now, let me be clear, Yum Yee. You are in Preschool All Stars, and I know you, and I love you. And this question, while it is a worthy question, typically is a symptom question. Okay, so let me let me break this down a bit. And this is going to go for any question on here. When people say, how do I get signups? How do I get students? Whatever, this is your answer. Okay, so what happens is you you do XYZ steps, and then all of a sudden you say to yourself, but wait a second, I don't have any students. Why don't I have any students? Now that is a symptom of the root problem. What we have to identify is, what is the actual root problem? Okay, because this I know to be true. If we solve the root problem, the symptom no longer shows up, right? No longer are we saying, how do I get students? Now students are coming in. So what is the root problem? And it could be many things. I don't know exactly what's going on in your life, Yummy, but it could be many things. I'm going to start with the first if we're looking on a trajectory of timeline of the things that people need to believe and know and do in order to create a successful preschool with many students. And Quinn, I love that you're on right now. She would actually attest to this, that this is step number one. Your preschool will not be successful if you are not successful. Your preschool will not work if you don't work. You will not attract money if you don't know how to handle money. You will, and I could keep going on and on and on. Are we getting the concept that here is you, here is the business, and we're like, but I'm on the journey and I don't have the students and therefore I don't have the business. Most times, I would say 95% of the times, we got to go back to the root, which is you. Now, this doesn't put anything on you. This is 100% of us, okay? 100% of us need to come back here and say, hey, what's going on in my life that is hindering me from marketing? And I love this because DJ, we had a great talk yesterday. DJ's in my inner circle. And she was like, you know what? The number one thing I need to do is market. But it's the number one thing I keep putting off. And so whenever I come across a question, it's like, how do I get more signups? Right? It is not for lack of me putting out the best marketing strategies, the best marketing campaigns. I have put those out in All Stars. They're available for you. But I could give you 100 students on a silver platter today, Yummy. I could literally say, Yummy, you got 100 students. Go teach them. And if we are not strong over here, those 100 students, we will self-sabotage. We will, eventually find a way where all of them leave us and we're left with nothing, where we don't manage the business, where we don't get any more students and they all phase out a year later and we've never once marketed to get another student. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. So we got to go back to ourselves here and we got to say, what is the resistance I feel toward marketing my preschool? Because let me tell you this I know to be true. The person that feels no resistance to marketing your preschool, let me tell you what they are doing. Or even if they do feel resistance, they're pushing past it. Let me tell you what they're doing every day to get signups. And you can ask yourself, have I done that every day? Am I doing that every day? Am I willing to do that every day? If not, you know the answer. You know the how, but more importantly, you know that the buck stops with you. Like I'm be straight up. Yeah, I mean, I love my, I go for tough love sometimes, right? Okay. Anyone that has been around in my programs that doesn't have students yet, and you've been either in Preschool All-Stars for quite some time, or you did the 7-day challenge, you're like, it doesn't work, whatever it is, okay? Here's the thing I know to be true. The buck starts and stops with you. Meaning, I can give you every strategy, but they're not going to work perfectly tuned to Yum Ye every single time. You're going to have to iterate on them. You're going to have to tweak them, test them. One of the strategies might hit gangbusters, and the other ones don't really work out for whatever reason. But the point is, we have 10 amazing strategies that have worked for thousands, tens of thousands of students, guys. Tens of thousands of students have been enrolled using these strategies. They do work, but you have to work them. Now, I know that some strategies you're going to feel a resistance to. Strategies like printing 5,000 flyers. The flyer that I tell you to print, which is in Preschool All-Stars. The method that I tell you to deliver, which is the straight-in-the-face flyer marketing method, which is an instant preschool marketing inside of Preschool All-Stars. The approach that I tell you to use, which is go hire teenagers. The class times, the tuition rates, the exact words to put on your flyer to not screw up the flyer, to make sure that your tuition rates are in line with what people will actually pay, to make sure that you're the way that you sell yourself is the way that you present yourself. All those things are on the flyer. But if you mess up a couple things, you put the wrong tuition rate because you didn't do the research, right? You didn't truly go through the guides and identify exactly how much your tuition rate should be. If you didn't get clear on what your benefits are, what your niche is, who you serve. Do you truly serve ages 3 to 5, or are you open to other ages, right? Because a lot of times people start making calls. Well, no one else is calling for preschool, and here's a call for daycare. So, and in fact, I've gotten 5 calls for daycare lately. So, or are you going to hold your ground, right? So, flyers is one method, and it's proven successful for thousands of All-Stars. So there's flyer marketing, right? But I hear all the time, even from my All-Stars sometimes, Joy, I did the flyers and it didn't work. How many flyers did you put out? Well, about 150. I mean, I printed 1,000, but I sent out 150 because my husband and I did the flyers, and oh my gosh, it is hot and it's hard to deliver all those flyers. And we were walking for 4 hours, Joy. Okay, we missed the boat, didn't we? We missed the part where you have to hire teenagers because, of course, it's freaking a hard work. And you and your husband or you and your kids can't do it alone. But you go hire well, I can't find teenagers. Really? How hard did you look? Did you just put out a social media post on Facebook and it didn't work out for you? How much do you want this? At what level do you say, hey, I understand I put out a post on Facebook, and while sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. And maybe I need to go start hitting the phone, go talking to my church members, go talking to my neighbors and my friends and my family and the people who live around me and start working it, right? Maybe I need to go to my community group in Facebook and put the post there. Don't tell me there ain't teenagers in your community. There are, right? Sorry, I get a little slang when I get all fired up here. So, anyways, my point is, when people say things don't work, with love, I reflect back to them and I challenge that and I say, tell me at the level that you worked this before you tell me that it didn't work. It didn't work, right? So each one of those layers, how many flyers you printed? Oh, you printed 1,000, go print out 5,000. Well, that costs a lot of money? Dude, you're trying to make a lot of money. What do you expect? We cannot expect things to just be free forever, things to just be given to us. We got to figure it out. Go bust Instacart and Uber and DoorDash and whatever you got to do to go get some money to make this business work, because it is worth it. So you no longer have to be broke and not have money and then in the future won't have to do DoorDash and Uber and Instacart. Do you know what I'm saying? But sometimes we got to get the stuff, the foundation solidified to give us a foundation to stand on, to get some money in our pocket. We can be resourceful. What can you do to go make money right now to go get the money to make the flyers? I know right now every one of my neighbors probably needs a dog poop scooping service. I know every one of my neighbors needs their lawn mowed. I know every one of my neighbors needs their trees all scooped up, the leaves in the fall, and the snow, not in Arizona, but in Idaho, the snow shoveled. I know that every one of my neighbors would probably buy homemade cookies, right? Would buy things from my kids if they went out on the, they put up a little neighborhood stand. My kids can make $100 in a couple hours. And you're telling me you can't figure out how to make money? No, I think we've put so many roadblocks in our place. Now, Yummy, I speak this to everybody. I don't speak this to you, my friend. I speak this to everybody, okay? This is a global thing. You just happened to ask the question, my girl. Okay, so I love you. Anyways, my point is we put so many roadblocks in front of us. Unless I get a paycheck, I don't have any money. I don't have any extra money, Joy. That's fine. Go make some. Get out of the employee mentality and get into the entrepreneur mentality that says, I got a problem. I'm going to go solve it. How can I get some money today? I guarantee you write down a list of 50 things that you could make money doing today. Go sell children's clothes. Go sell the used toys that your kids no longer play with. Do that on Facebook Marketplace. Make a garage sale. Donate plasma. You can, what are all the other things? Like, I just listed a bunch of others, like including also using credit cards to be able to borrow other people's money. That is the best gift in the world. I'll tell you why. Not to do it like in a bad way, but to do it in a smart way. If I can use $1,000 of other people's money right now, go put it into flyers, go pay teenagers, and get my flyers on every door in the subdivision, in every subdivision, 5,000 flyers. And if I've done the flyer correctly, because that's in Preschool All-Stars, and I've done the tuition rates correctly, and that training is in Preschool All-Stars, then that flyer is going to convert. But you got to get it in front of people's faces. Then you've got at least 30 days to pay that off. So amazing. You got the flyer out there. Call now to reserve a spot and take a tour. Hey, there's only 2 spots left. Do you still have a spot? I do. And then you go through the perfect sign-up formula framework, which literally tells you exactly what to say on the phone to get them to take a tour, to get them to sign up and pay the registration fee, and possibly even first month tuition if that's what you choose as well. Now you got a chunk of money. 10 signups at $100 registration a piece, that's $1,000. 20 signups at $50 registration fee, that's $1,000. Or 10 signups at, 0 registration fee and $100 a month tuition, that's $1,000. Guys, it's not that hard. You're making it to be this giant thing. I can't get students. My guess is this fear. Remember, I literally just did a podcast on this, like today. It's going to be live in like an hour. Go listen to it. It's about the 8 growth blockers, the fears that stop you. If I had to guess, the resistance you feel coming up from any amount of marketing has nothing to do with the marketing and everything to do with you. Has to do with the fear of whatever that is. The fear of the unknown, the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of judgment, all the different fears that can come up. But I guarantee you, your resistance is rooted in a fear. You identify the fear, you talk to the fear, you learn how to overcome the fear in the Phoenix Journey framework, right? So, and that, of course, is in our Bring the Mothers Home podcast. I just launched it. So, in that case, then, let's see here. I'm not going to talk about marketing strategies. You know them all. They're in Preschool All-Stars. They're in our book. They're in our instant preschool marketing. I've done the campaigns for you. I've done everything, but I can't do it for you. I can't be the one to overcome that fear for you. You got to walk through that fear, right? So that's my challenge to you, Yummy. It is not the strategy that is at fault here. It's not the strategy. There's a gazillion strategies, and not gazillion, but like it's like I've given the 10 best strategies. Go watch any of my YouTube videos. You'll find more and more and more strategies that are working for All Stars all the time because they iterate and things like that. But we've got the best 10 inside of Instant Preschool Marketing. So, and that's in the guides, Yummy, in Preschool All Stars Facebook group. So it's not the strategy. There's something within you that is holding yourself back from actually signing up students. You need to figure out what that is. Go listen to my podcast episode today, figure it out. And I want you to report back in our All Stars group what you identified. Okay? Awesome. Rosia, this is now, I'm answering your question. Terry says, this is why the Phoenix journey is important because the mindset framework helps you shift to continue to step into your purpose. Yes. Okay, Rosia. By the way, I'm cutting my bangs tomorrow because this is insane. Okay. Here we go. Rosia says, when I get a loan, my question is, I am struggling to make a decision to buy a home or a business. She was thinking about maybe buying an old closed daycare center or a pre-existing one. Which do you think is the best way for my in-pets preschool? I'm thinking you mean my in-home preschool? Because I don't think we're talking about pets here. Rosia, don't get a loan. Why are you getting a loan? I have told you in my book, which is like the Bible, okay? It's like the word, right? Okay, for preschool. But it's the standard. I say do not get a loan. I say do not go buy a, yeah, Rosia, I want to shake you right now. Don't get a loan. Don't buy a building. No, period. So I don't want you to go down that path. Because what you're doing, Rosia, is you're putting a loan and buying a building in. Quinn's like, you've been called out. No, she's been challenged. She's been challenged. Rosia, you've put this roadblock in your path, which until you get a loan, until you buy a building, you are refusing to start your preschool. Rosia, there are thousands of All-Stars who did not get a loan. 99% of us never get a loan. 99% of us never buy a building. Okay? Anita Gerber is the one exception that I can see over here on one hand. Most of us rent a building, or we lease a space, or we, pay a little money to a church to use their space, or we convert our garage, or we use our home, or we go online, or we go outdoors. That's like the general gist of what we do. Do you see how many opportunities there are for you that is not alone in a building? So you've stuck this, like, I just view this as a brick, like not even a roadblock, like a giant brick, just like a wall. Rosia, you just built yourself up a giant brick wall that until you get the loan, until you figure out, should I do the old daycare center? Should I do the pre-existing one? Girl, you haven't even done marketing yet. You haven't even signed students up yet. You haven't even taught preschool yet for your own preschool. We are not buying a building, okay? You buy a building when you lease a building, when you rent a building, when you have an existing number of students that are growing so large, enrollment is doubling, enrollment is tripling, and you cannot keep them in your home. You cannot keep them in the church. That's when you expand. When you are so, like, you've already got the enrollment in the books. You already got the enrollments and the registrations in hand. That's when I grew. So you do not grow before that. Stu McLaren, my mentor, he says, don't go into it, grow into it. Make sense? That means as you grow, you allow your opportunities to grow, but it is only based on enrollment that you ever grow. Okay. And not possible enrollment. I'm talking registrations and enrollments in hand. We doubled our we doubled our enrollment from 48 students in May when we ended our preschool. We had 48 students that ended the preschool with us, but we had in hand registrations for 96 students for the next fall. Now that was a problem because I could only take 48 students total, at different class times in my home. So when I had 96 registrations in hand, I said, oh, I've wanted to grow. Clearly, I can't have all 96 here in my home. What am I going to do? Right? Technically, I could keep doing it in home and I could convert my garage. Okay. Technically, I could do that. But instead, what we decided to do was get a schoolhouse, keep 48 at my house and move into the garage, and then 48 into the schoolhouse. And of course, that grew at that point. Okay. So, Rosia, I just challenged you. You have a mindset of this is the only path for me. And it's probably rooted in a daycare mentality of, and I'm not sure, but that's my guess, is that you either worked in a daycare or you thought about starting a daycare or you had a home daycare in the past or a daycare in the past. And therefore, this is your path. That is not the path for preschool. Okay. That's a daycare mentality. We do not need some building, some center, some da-da-da-da-da. We don't, that's always the first step if you do a daycare. I just want you to know that. Most daycare centers are like, first step, you want to start a daycare? Go find your location. Nope. We already have the location. Okay. And I already went through a bunch of ways where you can go if you can't do it in your house. Watch my YouTube video I just posted about it. Okay. Hey, Diana. We've got Diana Cano. Let me tag you right here. She says, I just started. Where do I, all right, haven't started yet. Where do I start? Well, Diana, what I want you to do is go to freepreschoolbook.com, and there is where you're going to start. Okay, get my book. It's a free book. I just asked that you pay for the $7.95 shipping and handling so I can get it in your hands. And this book will help you to know exactly how to start your local or online preschool. It answers every question. Not only that, it gives you about 20 beautiful all-star stories of women who started their preschools. They're just like you. And they started their preschools and they found success. Okay, but they first started it in this free group saying, where do I start? So you're in the right place. Okay, looking for another question. Hi, Courtney. Good to see you. Courtney, are you in All-Stars, my friend? I have to figure this out really quick because you have been in All-Stars. Let me just quickly verify, because it's going to change my answer. Amazing, Courtney. Okay, so Courtney's in All-Stars. She says, I have families on a wait list. I'm not quite ready for a facility leasing property. Hey, Courtney. Okay, Courtney's paying attention. Let me tag her really quick. How do I expand or search for renting out a space in a church? I have no idea how to begin. How do I proceed with speaking with local churches? What do I say? I want to be as professional as possible. Here's the cool thing, Courtney. Our girl, Quinn Cooper, already did a podcast episode on this. And in fact, because you asked the question, I'm going to give you the exact YouTube link. Give me 1 second. This will be beneficial for anybody wanting to do a church. And of course, Quinn is in our Preschool All-Stars program, and she has started her preschool in a church. So figure out where the search button is. Here we go. Quinn Cooper Church. She did a podcast all about this, how to lease a church space for your preschool. Okay, she actually did a master class on it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tag this here. Courtney, here's your answer. Go watch that video with Quinn. And then, of course, inside of Preschool All-Stars, girl, she, and I think it's in the description. Give me 1 second. It might be in All-Stars. Let me see where the link takes me. Okay, perfect. So then inside of All-Stars, search for the word church, and you're going to see some information from Quinn as well. I think she had a slide deck, but I think the slide deck is already in the video. So you're going to get all the answers from the video. Okay. By the way, super excited. Report back on what happened with it. Okay, I'm not sure if there's any last questions. Okay, Christine. Hey, girl. If I remember correctly, Christine Moose is somebody brand new to us, and I believe trying desperately to get inside of Preschool All-Stars. Make sure you go to preschoolallstars.com, Christine, to get on the wait list. And then I'm going to answer your question here. Whoops, I also posted the YouTube link. Let me fix that really quick. I answered your question here. Okay, perfect. Christine says this, I'm doing daycare now. I plan to post my online preschool, possibly in person also, registration as soon as I can, but I should tell my daycare families before they see me starting a new business online. I get what you're saying. How much time should I give myself to gain new students, replace my income, and keep my daycare families in the loop? Okay. So Christine is a daycare owner. Okay. And she wants to do an online preschool, and she's possibly even thinking of changing her daycare into a local preschool. So it's making the transition from daycare to preschool, where daycare is 12-hour days, preschool is 2.5 hours. Daycare is all ages, preschool is ages 3 to 5 only. But she's like, if I start posting about any other business, my daycare families are going to possibly like say, hey, what's going on? And feel nervous that maybe things are changing. And when should I tell them? And how should I do this? Right. Christine, I'm actually going to give you the exact same video that I gave to, um, let's see, to Jamie Leiter. So I'm trying to think how I can get you that exact same video. 1 second here. Trying to remember where it is. It's so good. Okay. I think it's on my Facebook page. So give me 1 second, because it's a 30-day transition plan to changing your daycare into a preschool. Now, I speak about Jamie Leiter. We've had many daycare owners do this. Valerie David transitioned her daycare from daycare into a preschool. She was working 16 to 18 hours a day. That probably resonates with you. Completely burned out. When she was burned out, that's when she found me. And she shifted her model into not all ages, only ages 3 to 5, not all hours, only the preschool hours. And she's so much happier now. She also has a thriving online preschool as well, but that's not what we're talking about. I also think of Dina Matasic. Dina Matasic was a single mom and started a daycare, as many single moms do. In fact, as I was a single mom of 3 kids, that was what everybody told me to do. Oh, you want to stay home with your kids? Start a daycare. But I didn't want to do that. I couldn't handle the 12-hour days. I don't know how you handle it. You're probably not handling it very well, if I had to guess. That's okay. I couldn't have handled it. I just knew from the beginning I couldn't handle it. And so, anywho, so she had a daycare, and it was completely burning her out. She couldn't even spend the time with the one son she had that she loved so much that she did this for, right? She's like, I'm doing this for my son, and I'm exhausted at the end of the day. The daycare kids leave, and I'm like, I still got my son. Nobody is helping. I still keep going, every hour of the day. And so when she found me, she immediately changed her daycare into a preschool, filled it up with preschool only kiddos, and had a thriving business for many, many years. What I love about Dina's story is that she now, as her son grew up and was no longer preschool age, she wanted to homeschool him. And so while the preschool served that need for a short time, for a couple of years while he was in home, and now she could teach preschool and everybody would leave and she'd make the money, even more money. And then, and have all the time afterward and not be tired and be able to spend the time with her son afterward. After that, though, he grew up into about kindergarten age. She's like, I want to homeschool you. And so she moved closer to her family. She bought acreage. She bought a property on acreage, and she is just living this homesteading and homeschooling and, living off the land kind of lifestyle. And I'm so excited for her. Like, I tried to do that for a couple years ago. But anyways, okay, I'm going to find your video. Here we go. So there are several videos that I've done in the past. Let's see where it is. How to transition your daycare into a preschool in just 30 days. Here it is. Let me get you the link. Okay, I think it's this one right here. You'll be able to go do it. Perfect. Now I'm going to talk about Jamie Leiter, okay? So Jamie was in our April challenge. We'll do a challenge in October, but anywho, Jamie was in our April challenge. So here is the how to Okay, cool. So I just posted that video. This is for, I'll tag you again, Christine Moose. Watch this. Okay. That video is the how to transition daycare from preschool in 30 days. So Jamie was in our April challenge, and she was in your spot. She was like, hey, I've got a daycare. My husband and I run it. We did it so we could spend more time with the family, but it is taking me under. I can't even spend time with my husband and kids now. And I can't keep doing this forever. Like, maybe next year I'll transition into a preschool. I said, Jamie, watch this video. Why are you doing this next year? Why are you making the change next year? You can do this in 30 days from today. And she watched the video and she's like, oh my gosh, I can. She immediately, now Jamie's an action taker. I love action takers. So Jamie immediately put out this letter to her parents. I tell you what to say in the letter to your parents. She put out this letter to the daycare parents immediately within like a day after watching this video. Put out the letter and said, hey, on this day, 30 days from now, I am no longer doing daycare. I'm doing preschool only. It's ages 3 to 5. And it's only for 2.5 hours. I have loved taking care of your children, but unfortunately, not unfortunately, but as I continue to grow and improve my preschool, I am excited to go down this new venture of turning it into a premier private preschool program. And I would love for you to join me if you are able to bring your child just 2.5 hours and take them afterward. We don't do morning and afternoon. It's just a 2.5 hour class. You can come 5 days, but it's only 2.5 hours. And it has to be ages 3 to 5. I will no longer take the siblings, the babies, etc. It has to be ages 3 to 5. No after school care, no nothing. No wiggle room of like, but what about a 4 hour? Nope, it's 2.5 hours. She put it out there to her daycare families. And I think every single daycare family, or almost everyone, immediately came back and said, Jamie, we love you so much. We want to continue with you next month. We will make this work. And so either A, they no longer needed full-time childcare, yet they were still bringing them to her for full-time. And they just stopped. And they're doing just like 5 days morning only, right? Or 5 days afternoon only for the 2.5 hour period. Or 2 days or 3 days a week, etc. We teach it in the book. But anyways, all of them said, hey, I want to continue with you. Or, hey, you know what? I know that we can't do full-time daycare, so I'm going to put my kiddo in this daycare, and they're going to transport to your preschool in the morning, and then they're going to bring him back to the daycare. Now, I've done that too. There's been many people who've done that for me in the past where they go to daycare, but they love our program so much, they know that this is the best program for them. They have the daycare transport to us, and then they bring them back. So fantastic. So anyways, she keeps all or almost all of her families. I got to ask her that. And then so now she's filling her spots for the program for the future for the next 30 days. And she's told her families, I'm not going to go into the details, go watch the video, okay? But anyways, you keep your tuition for the 30 days because you got your current daycare family still paying you for 30 days. And then basically on day 31, you transition into your premier part-time only preschool program. And your tuition continues from then on with preschool only tuition. And that's how you do it. So Christine, go watch the video. Go be like Jamie, like literally, like, you know how there's like, go be like Mike, go be like Jamie, right? And go do what she did. She is thriving. Christine, this was April. She thought she's going to have to deal with her daycare for the next year. Who knows when she can finally transition, right? But she took action on the video that I provided. She immediately reached out to those daycare families, immediately set it in plan. And within a week of the 7-day challenge, like in the 7-day challenge, she changed her daycare into a preschool. She joined Preschool All-Stars and she was off to the races. So May 1st, she was doing her preschool program. Actually, I think it was June 1st because I think the challenge was at the end of April. Anyways, June 1st, she's doing her preschool program and her summer camp, and she's loving it. And she's got so much more life back in herself. And you know, she's making more money and she's spending so much more time with her family. She's got vacations back, holidays back, all the things. That is possible for you too. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Continuing to go up. Okay, I think that's the end. Cool. That's the end of the questions from yesterday. If you have any other questions, I'm going to, again, tag the post in the Facebook group. That's where I'm going to be looking for any questions to answer on these lives. So I hope you're in my free Facebook group. It's called Preschool System. If you're not, come join us over there. But anyways, that's where I'm going to be answering questions every morning live. And so if you have any questions, go post them on the other post. Okay, I'll kind of re-get it in the group. But it's basically a post that says, what's your biggest question or concern about starting a preschool? So make sure you post your question on there. Deal? You guys have been awesome. Thanks for being here. But last thing, while I've got you, my amazing 14 people, we are on the cusp, my friends, of hitting a new possible top 50. Holy crap. We just hit 15. What? Oh my gosh. We just hit top 15, guys. I'm freaking out. I just refreshed it. We just hit top 15 in self-improvement. Are you kidding me? You did it. I was hoping for top 50. You got us to 15. Let me share my screen. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out right now. Yo, you did it. Okay, let me get this on my screen. Apple Podcast charts in self-improvement, which is the same category as Tom Bilyeu, Marie Forleo. What the heck? That's crazy. Okay, so it hasn't hit this chart yet, but it's like right here. Let me show you where I'm at. Oh no, we didn't. Oh, come on. I read the chart wrong. This is hilarious. I gotta show you. Oh, this cracks me up. This cracks me up. I got so excited for a second. Okay. Wow. Well, that got real exciting for a second and then not. So, but that's okay. We're on the chart. We're on the way up. Here we go. So let me show you what's going on here. Here we go. I show you. Okay, here we go. Let me open up. Hope y'all are rolling over there because I'm dying over here. I just got so excited. That was hilarious. Okay, let me show you what we got working with. Okay, here we go. So here we are. I'll share this. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here we are. So this chart is how I know how many downloads we've gotten. Okay, so when we didn't have a podcast, and now we launched a podcast on Thursday. It's called Bring the Mothers Home. Right? Okay, so on Thursday we had 221 downloads, and on Thursday we hit I think 67 or something. Okay, top number 67 in. Let me open up another chart so you can see all the things of how I track all this stuff. One second, and then I'll share this new tab. I know. Let me go to, where is it? Oh no, it's not that one. It's Chartable. Okay, go back to Chartable. I'm so excited for a second, but it's coming. It's coming. Maybe not top 15, but I believe top 50 is coming. I do believe it because of what happened yesterday. You guys freaking killed it. So now let's go to dashboard. You'll see what I'm looking at in just a second here. Okay, I come over here to charts. Okay, and then I click last week. Here we go. Okay, now we're following. Okay, so here you see this tab. Here we go. So on Thursday, we hit 221 listens or downloads, right? Which was amazing for the very first day of a new podcast that I had not told anybody I was going to launch other than, hey, it's launching tomorrow and will you support me? And it was during the 4th of July week, so come on. Okay, now during this time, 221 downloads, we got a ton of ratings and reviews. I think we got maybe like 40 ratings and reviews on that day as well. And then let me show you the flip side of what that looks like. So obviously the next day we went down in listens because, people were like, cool, new podcast. Cool, I'm on with my life, right? So we had 221 and then went down to like 119. We almost like not halved, but, significant. So let me show you though what happened when we hit 221 downloads. Over here on chartable.com, this shows Apple Podcasts and the chart of education category self-improvement. So there's a bunch of categories in Apple Podcasts, and you put yourself in a category that, where your podcast fits. Ours fit in self-improvement, obviously, for women's empowerment. And so here is where I can see where we have been at each stage along the chart. Okay. And then based on this, I can go find us in the real chart and I can go see who we're next to. But anyways, we hit number 64, not 67. We hit number 64 on July 7th. And that was, if you look, oh, sorry, you're not looking. I got to share this tab. Sorry, guys. You're like, Joey, share the tab. Here you go. Do you see now? Here we go. You see Apple Podcast now. Okay. So we're in the self-improvement category. And then here on July 7th, you can see we hit the rank of 64 in self-improvement. So that was number 64 in self-improvement. So it's even better. I thought it was 67. And maybe it went back and forth a little bit. But anyways, that was with 221 downloads. Okay. But then guess what happened? Because we had less downloads the next day, you see we dropped. We hit 76. We went up a little bit. Now, this isn't every day. We actually get 2 rankings a day, 71, 69, down up to 78, which is not a good thing. Now we're going in the opposite direction, right? Of a bad way. 84, because the listens are going down. So we're starting to get worse ratings, right? And then we hit 120. So yesterday we hit 120, or if you look over here, not this one, let's go back over to, I'll share this tab. So yesterday, before we had the peak, okay, before we had all the downloads, because it's about 24 hours delayed. So yesterday we had like only 117 downloads, not many ratings and reviews. So therefore we dropped to 120 on the charts yesterday. But I'm like, you know what? I think we can get back. I think we can get to top 50. Because if we got to top 67 or 64 on 221, then dude, let's come back on Monday after the holiday and let's see if we can get to top 50. Like, I feel like it's possible. And so I put out the urge, the thing yesterday. I was like, hey, everybody, come listen to the podcast, subscribe, rate, review, all the things. Now I had no clue what you would do, but 388 listens yesterday. Way to go. You did it. You did amazing. So I know that there's a new number coming for us. And so I've been like furiously refreshing this. Now let me show you what I was refreshing, okay? Because remember how we were like at 120 or 117? So here's what I typically look at. So this is the rating as of yesterday because it hasn't taken into account yesterday's numbers. So that was the rating yesterday, pretty much from like the day before. Here's what happened though. This is the number 117, which is not very good, but that's okay. But I saw this number. I saw 15 and I was like, oh my gosh, we hit top 15. That's the number I saw. And then, I forgot, you're not seeing the tabs. I'm sorry. StreamYard sucks for this kind of thing. I apologize. Here's the number that I saw, which previously I've been tracking this number. This tells me my number on the charts, right? In self-improvement, which is number 117. Which obviously went down. We're down to 117 because like all the listens have gone down. We were at 67. Now we're down to 117. But this was the number that I saw when I was like, I refreshed the screen to see did it update for yesterday, because yesterday was gangbusters. And then I saw this number and it said 15 and I flipped out because I thought this was number 15. I'm going to show you what that actually means in like real life. Okay. So let's go look at, if we look at Chartable, the actual thing, this is kind of fun, isn't it? It's kind of fun to do that. Let's view this. Nope, not this one. View tab, Chartable. Are we still seeing this tab? We're still seeing. Okay. Now here's what it looks like in relation to all the people. So we go to Apple Podcast Charts. We click on USA and we scroll down here for education and self-improvement. Now I'm in the category. Okay. Now when I come here, this is where I see number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I do a search for Bring the Mothers Home and I'm not seeing it. I'm like, oh crap, I think I read it wrong, right? And I'm looking for number 15. I'm not there. Oh, that's because we're on number 117 still and it's not on this page, right? So for reference, these are the kind of podcasts that are up at the top of the charts, okay? Jordan Harbinger, we've got Tom Bilyeu, Rachel Cruz, Rachel Hollis. We've also down here got Marie Forleo somewhere. I was around her at the 67 mark, something like that. So she's down here somewhere. Where'd Marie go? Maybe Marie dropped a little bit, or maybe she's just a little bit lower. Anyways, also Trent Shelton is down here. I thought Marie's was, there's Marie. Marie's is yellow. Yep. And so she's 84 right now. So anyways, my point is, my friends, like I was around Marie Forleo and Trent Shelton. That was kind of like my little container right there. But I think we can get to top 50. I do. I think with the numbers that we've just hit yesterday, like 388 or whatever downloads, and I think the numbers that we're going to hit today, this morning, if you can continue to help me push this, I think we'll hit top 50. And I'll be happy with any number above 100. But I think we're going to do amazing, okay? So, all right, let's go ahead now and stop sharing and show you what to do to make sure that you guys follow along on this crazy journey. Yes, it will happen. I love that. Okay, so here's what you do. You go to your phone, your Apple or your MacBook or your iPad. So if you don't have like an Apple phone, but you have an iPad, awesome. Do it there. So here's what you do. You look for the purple Apple Podcast app. Go ahead and click on the purple Apple Podcast app right there. Okay. And then you click on it and you search for Bring the Mothers Home. There's a little search feature right there. Right there. And then up here, you search Bring the Mothers Home, and then you click on Bring the Mothers Home. Okay. That is our podcast. And that's a brand new one we just launched Thursday. Okay. I just crack it up myself. The whole thing that just happened. That was hilarious. At the very top, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast and you click plus follow. Do you see at the very top there, plus follow? Go ahead and click plus follow. That's going to subscribe you to the podcast. Apple loves subscribers. Okay. And this is how we get to the top ratings when we have lots of subscribers, ratings, reviews, and listens. Okay. Then you're going to scroll to the bottom. Okay. Scroll to the bottom of the podcast. And if I have helped you, if I have served you anytime in the last 15 years, or of course, listen to some of my podcast episodes. And if you love them, right? This is almost kind of like a podcast episode. So if you love this, anyways, I would love it if I've earned your 5 stars, go ahead and rate me 5 stars. Amazing. So go ahead and you can add in, hopefully I've earned your 5 stars. You can add the rating right there. And then right below, you can write a review. Okay. Oh, I got to show you where it is. Right below, you can write a review. So go ahead and click on write a review. And then when you click on that, you can add some nice little words and then write the review. Now we have 70 ratings. I'd love to see that number get above 100. Okay. The last thing I want you to do is listen to the episodes. Listen to the episodes. Okay. So you see all these episodes here, right? I want you to scroll to the bottom though and start with the trailer. The trailer is just 7 minutes long. Okay. Start at the trailer, and that's going to set the tone for the whole podcast. You're going to know this is your podcast. This is the one for you. Listen to the trailer and then keep binge listening the episodes above it. Number 1, number 2, etc. And you can listen to them on 1.5x speed. 2x is probably too crazy. But listen to all the episodes. And, just put it in your ear while you're taking the kids to summer or swim practice, or you're taking the kids to their summer camps, or you're taking them to, oh my goodness, I was going to say back to school shopping. Let's not go there yet. Or you're going for your daily walk, or you're cooking, or you're cleaning. Like, just stick it in your ear and just have it in your ear today, right? Just pour into yourself today. Let this be your day of retreat, right? Day of self-care. And as you listen to them, they're really good stories. I mean, these are my own life stories, but it is also including the Phoenix Journey framework that is going to transform your life, transform your mindset, and help you to finally become who you're made to be. So that's that. And that's my ask for you today. Sound good? You guys are fantastic. Thanks for being with me this morning on that hilarious adventure of thinking I was at a higher number, but that's okay. I'm going to go live another time today when I do get higher than 117, because I know it's coming. It's just got to reset the numbers, because it's always 24 hours backdated. So we're getting close, friends. If you have an Android, no worries here. And by the way, I'm doing a huge podcast contest. I forgot to drop the link. Let me drop the podcast contest link for you guys to be able to enter. We have $50,000 in prizes, including 11 chances to win a year of Preschool All-Stars. Are you kidding me? Joy, you're insane. I know. You're welcome. Anyways, I'm going to drop the link right now. Give me 1 second here. This is the link to the podcast contest. And so you're absolutely going to want to join that podcast contest. That is not the link. I'm getting it. 1 sec. To enter to win your prizes. And then also, guess what? You earn more entries by subscribing, rating, reviewing, listening to the episodes, sharing the podcast. So trust me, you're going to want to take part of that contest. We're trying to go big today, okay? Today's the last big push. Can you guys do that for me today? The last big push. There's a link. And then somebody said, I'm on Android. Where can I listen to the podcast? If you're on Android and you don't have an iPad, you can listen to the podcast at this link right there. It's the actual link to the Apple podcast. And you can listen on your phone or desktop, even without an Apple phone. Okay. Okay, guys, you're amazing. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.